pretty tough act to follow right there. Nothing quite so exciting as that. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about this Open Data Center Alliance that we launched just recently. Give you just a little quick brush through of how we got started and what we're doing. And then kind of conclude it with a slide that tells you a little about how to sign up if you want to, or how to investigate on the website. And then this afternoon at 4:30, we're sponsoring the cocktail reception. So we'll have a few of us there that can answer any questions. So hopefully some of you all will be able to come to that and find out more details, since this is sort of not that much Q&A and everything. Anyway, so the whole thing got started where everything about this whole 2 or 3 days is all of the same theme, that the complexity that is coming across, coming at IT CIOs and IT managers is just at just a rapid exponential speed, and things are changing so quickly, things are changing so fast, yet the role of the CIO, the role of the IT manager has changed at the same time, being that not that long ago, if you're an IT manager, you were in charge of running the back office ERP and email and things like that. Now, you're running the e-commerce site where if that thing goes down for a minute, the cash register stops of your company. And it's so much of the revenue growth is built off of these corporate websites and e-commerce that the demands are there, the budgets are tight. Everything everybody's talking about how great the cloud is coming at it so fast, and it leaves everything in sort of a perplexing state for folks that are running very large IT shops. Exactly how do we get there? How do we get onto it, and so on. So it was a bunch of CIOs themselves who gathered together and said, well, why don't we get together and let's think about what do we want the cloud to be, and pass that information back to the manufacturing, hardware, software community and service provider to be able to deliver us back what we kind of want it to be, versus the way we traditionally hear about the cloud, which is what each of the different manufacturers, if you will, have say the cloud is. So this is sort of like flipping the coin a little and saying, let's all get together and decide what we exactly want. This alliance is a little vision statement type thing, but it really stresses about how everybody wants things to be an open standard, so that when you hear about the great things between all the different manufacturers that are here all the time, it needs to be interoperable, and we need to be able to say that we're not limited to any one vendor and so on and so forth. So this is really the theme of it, and as alliance members, the idea was that we wanted to kind of create a unified voice, deliver these requirements back out to the manufacturing community, and be committed as an organization to following these roadmap recommendations that we give back to the community, and so on. So the commitment to actually follow through on it is a very big thing, as we'll see on a subsequent slide. So this is what it kind of looks like now in terms of membership. It's over 100 members. There's a board of directors that you can see in the top group. This is BMW, Capgemini, China Life, China Unicom, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Lockheed, Marriott, National Australia Bank, Shell, UBS, and terremark. And this steering team, this board of directors serves as a steering team for the organization. There's a list of contributing members there, and I'll go into that in just a second. But you can see the logos that are there, and then the adopter members. It's 100 now, and it's growing every day, and we would love that to double over time. Intel has been brought in just as a technical advisor, and they kind of help facilitate the various meetings and so on. So this slide is a little shameless plug just about terremark, and it talks about how why we decided to join this alliance. And I'm kind of when you look at that list of on the board of directors, there's probably in that group is over 50, could be $60 billion of IT buying power. And so I kind of, when I look at this crowd, I'm a little cynical in nature here. And so I think about how everybody's, rather than why did we join, everybody's thinking, well, how did terremark get in there? So there's a little I don't know how many baseball fans, there's a little trivia question that goes hand in hand with this. Does anybody know who the brothers combination that has the most home runs in Major League Baseball history together in aggregate? So since we don't have mics out, I'll go through it. Everybody thinks of the Alou brothers, the old guys do, the DiMaggio brothers, things like that. And the right answer is Hank and Tommy Aaron. Hank had 755 and Tommy Aaron had 1. So when I stand as chairman of the Open Data Center Alliance and brag about the $50–60 billion of IT buying power of our board of directors, we're the Tommy Aaron of the board of the steering team. This is how we're set up. We have the steering committee, as I mentioned, which serves as the board of directors. We have a technical coordination committee, which is we have folks from every one of the steering teams are on that technical coordination committee, and they're kind of overseeing the working teams and making sure that everything sort of stays uniform and there's not a lot of overlap. It shows Intel as a technical advisor. And then there's 5 working groups. So this is what's very significant and what's very exciting about the thing at the same time. The 5 working groups are looking at things in infrastructure management, regulation, ecosystem, security, and services. And each of those working groups has 15 of those companies that you saw on the contributing list on the previous slide. So there's, in aggregate, as many as 90 companies that are deeply involved in this, committing resources and time and effort. When I say time, I personally am just tremendously amazed at how much everybody has contributed. The companies from China are on calls at 2 in the morning. The companies in Australia, they're on videos at ungodly hours. And me being, I'm from Florida, it's an Eastern time zone, and we usually benefit by being in the middle. But my God, some of the things that people are doing, they fly in for meetings just for the day. It's they're very, very committed, and that's the part that for me has been very exciting. This is a little map of sort of how the roadmap is laid out, so you understand a little more about it. Where, you know, looking at things like scale-out storage and unified networking and policy-based power management and trusted compute pools, these are all the things that you're hearing a lot about here during these couple days. But the idea is that with these working teams that are set with about 15 or 16 companies on each of these topics, there's a tremendous focus on looking at this kind of long term. There's the interaction is just fantastic, and amazingly, you see people like multiple banks on the steering team, financial services, and yet in the context of this, you would think that it was just kumbaya amongst them all. Everybody's in there and really working well together. So I mean, the interaction that goes on has been fantastic in these meetings. The delivery that we're committed to is that these working teams are going to have the initial set of these roadmap requirements out in the first half of 2011. So we're just a month or two away from being able to publish out the very first of the documents. And the goal would be that in not too distant future, large IT shops would be able to take these requirements and actually paste them straight into their RFPs and be able to say, this is what I want the market to be able to deliver. And no matter whether you're a hardware, software, service provider, whatever, this is what everybody would like to have delivered. And so it's going to we hope that it kind of shapes things so that some of the folks here that don't necessarily play so well together in the open market will start playing a little better together. And then this idea of large enterprise capitalizing on the cloud will actually come to fruition. The last slide is just tells you a little bit about the website, opendatacenteralliance.org. There's a reception today that we'll be happy to have 2 or 3 of us there that can answer questions and tell you as much as we can about it. And we have all of the normal Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn connections as well. So today we just got started. It's been tremendous. The people who sign up, it's just amazing how many sign up and want to be contributing members and put in time. I mean, it's self-funded, so everybody on the steering team is paying very substantial dues to pay for the cost of the website and the different organizational things. So, I don't know, for me, I'm very excited about it, as you can hopefully tell. And it's it's something that I think that it will help take a lot of these independent discussions that are going on and help glue them together into something that's manageable and understandable for the large-scale IT shops and CIOs. Anyway, that's the end of mine. So I hope that helped. I hope it gave you a little briefing, and maybe we'll see some of you all this evening. Thank you very much.